Hi, this is Steve. I took a look at the IFCS Continental Championship of America's Biathlon Jumpers course today, and it looked pretty interesting. I won't have a chance to run it because I'm not there, and I haven't seen it on the live stream. So I thought maybe we could chalk talk it and talk about some different options that people might try to use to handle it. Okay, let's take a look at this course and try to identify some of the critical places where our handling needs to be applied. Um, if we take a look at the dog's path real quick, see the dog goes 1 to 2, and then we need to get him to the backside of 3, either through a push or actually escorting him to the backside. And to me, I'm going to put down some little stars of interesting spots on the course where I'd want to kind of control the dog's path. So once we get them to 3, it's into the tunnel 4, and then we've got to get them back to the backside of 6 here. So yet another control point, you might call it, there. 6 to 7 is a backside to a backside, followed by the big run out to the back of 11. So it seems to me another place I need to get to, or really be sure I get to my spot, is getting from 10 to 11 to support that. There's a few options we can look at. 10 to 11, you can wrap the dog to the inside and then up to 12, or actually kick the dog a little longer, which might give us some more options on handling where we can go on the course to get further downstream in the course. So once we get the dog over 12, I think the wrap to the left is going to be the way to go. 13, 15, and then it starts getting interesting, because once we get the dog off of the weaves, it really is a tricky spot here with controlling the dog's line at 17 so that we can get them to 18, and then once we do get the dog wrapped around 17, even if you went this other way, you need to get the dog to the backside of 19 to finish off the course. So that's also another area we want to look at, is getting to 19. Okay, so if those are all the critical spots we need to get to, and there's quite a few of them on this course, let's look at a little more detail. Draw the dog's path here in green. So we want to get the dog to the back of 3. I think the only way I could do that would be to get at least some amount of lead out and be in a position where I can push to the backside. Your other option would be to try to run it on the dog on left, get across in to the backside of this, or even across into the front side. Neither of which would be too easy to do, but would be possible. Other options here, I think the way I'd want to go, because of my control point here out at 6, I really want to take the dog into the tunnel at 4 on my right to give me a chance to get to 6 in time. So to me that implies a handling path. If I get some kind of a lead out so that I can clear 2 in time to push my dog to the back of 3 on my right, I would then keep my dog on my right, so I'd invite him back over the jump to me on my right arm, send him to 4, and then as soon as my dog's committed to the tunnel, I'm going to move off down the line towards 6. So my dog's path ends up getting into 4, and then it's a bit of a foot race as he comes out, and then you've got a few options. You can either front or blind right in there. Let's make some more room here so we can see what's going on. Okay, so now I've got my dog. He's approaching 6. He comes over. I need to adjust that line. I think I want to keep dog on right through this whole thing. As soon as he pushes to the backside, so my path looks like this. As soon as I can support the backside, I want to get down this line and get up to my control point just before 11. And to do that, it's looking like either a front or a blind between 8 and 9. In some handling systems it's not allowed because you're basically crossing on a straight line, but I really need it just to get the side change so I could get up to 11 in time to control my dog's path. I think coming down dog on right as we come on here is a tough call unless you're substantially faster than your dog to get there. If you were to actually try to take this path and cut in, I think it gives too much possibility of supporting the wrong side of 11 as we get in there with the dog. So once we come up to 11, really there's two options that we can turn the dog and cross him around that way, or take the dog and cross him to the wrap him to the inside. Depending on a small dog, I think I'd be tempted to take the red path. A larger dog, I might kick him out here just so I have plenty of time as a handler, well not plenty, but enough time to get up to 12 and be there to cue the jump wrap at 12. So our green dog path to come up and then wrap around. Meanwhile, as a handler, as soon as I've got him to 13, I want to get moving towards the weave entry. And it looks to me like the rear cross happening at the approach to 15 would be beneficial. Unlike that line I just drew there, I think I want my handler path to go as little as possible to possible to 15, and this is a case where having independent weave poles really can assist the handler. You've got if they're really independent, you can actually cut through. You could imagine coming through here to get to your spot at 17. My dogs, I pretty much would have to come down. I could stay lateral, front or blind cross here, and then aim for that gap to pick my dog up so I can get to my next critical control point at 17 and cue it as a jump wrap. So I'd see you'd hopefully get the dog wrapping to tight in there, pick him up on my left arm, and then it kind of gets interesting again. We really want to avoid that off course into the tunnel, and but I think from a dog's path perspective, we want the dog's path to probably go that way as the more desirable path, as opposed to trying to do something like that, which I don't think is as nice a path for the dog. So to do that, I think I would be tempted, dog on left, here's me as the handler, come in here, dog on left, kick him out, and then serp it, as some people would say, and come through here. If you really could keep your dog's head, your other option is to take your dog the backside cross, and then on your right, take your dog over 20. So that's what I was thinking as some of the handling options on this really interesting course. I hope you found this little impromptu chalk talk interesting. I'd love to hear what you thought. It's my first time trying this, and let me know what you think.